Welcome to the Virtual Ball Boys podcast. My name is Chris, and I am joined once again by my good friend, Matt.
Chris, you know what I really don't like, and I feel like I've talked about this before in an intro, but it bears repeating.
I feel like we've had a few intros about TikToks.
It's not TikTok, actually.
Okay, what's that?
It's about the Christmas Story.
You probably have done an intro about this because I've heard you rant about this before. But please continue. You're
I really hate the Christmas Story. I don't think it's an entertaining movie. I think it's very old. The one good joke is the leg lamp. That's the only good joke in the whole movie.
Yeah. Now, this is not to be confused with the Christmas Carol.
No, Christmas Carol is timeless. Charles Dickens probably did some runs, but I trust his autorial integrity. It is a Christmas Story, the Ralphie movie,
right? With
the really annoying brother. I can't put my arms down.
Yes.
Okay, there are two good jokes. But his brother's one of the most annoying characters in fiction.
Sure.
The narration sucks. I don't know if it's just that kids get their tongues stuck to a pole. Shit has been done so much since that movie, and that movie started it. I don't care.
Yeah,
it's
not
funny. It's racist when they get to the Chinese restaurant at the end. It's really bad.
Oh yeah. The last thing, the only thing I've been seeing lately on TV is that T-Mobile commercial with Zach Braff licking the pole.
Yeah,
and that's so I'm just like, yeah, we're really running.
It's like, they're doing Christmas Story. Woo!
Yeah.
Love to see that again.
I subscribe to the Christmas Carol for sure, but and almost all variations. I kind of enjoy the more modern takes on it. I haven't seen the latest one, which I think is like Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell are in it.
Oh, is that a Christmas Carol parody? I didn't even realize.
I'm almost certain. Yes. I believe,
okay.
I believe Will Ferrell's like one of the main ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
But then they have another. I'm sure there's
Spirited.
There's other spirit stuff.
Yes. Imagine Charles Dickens' heartwarming tale of Scrooge visited by 4 ghosts on Christmas Eve, but funnier.
There is actually also a movie called Scrooge, which I remember watching a lot, and I thought that was the original growing up. Obviously not. But that was I believe fuck, what's the guy's name? He does everything. Ghostbusters, SNL.
Is that Bill Murray?
Bill Murray, that's it. I don't know why I was blanking on his name. But yes, he was the lead in Scrooge, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm very anti-Christmas Story. If thank God that my local theater has already done it, because I would not want to see the musical adaptation a bunch of times.
I would say you're good, like I said, with Christmas Carol, and then I would hope that for your sake it's a play version of Miracle on 34th Street because I've seen the musical version and it sucks ass.
Is it actually horrible?
It's really bad. The movie's fantastic. I actually saw the movie after I saw the musical.
No, I like the movie a lot. Yeah.
That has redeemed my feelings about this. No, the musical was not good.
I think I've heard that from multiple people.
So it was me and Kelsey and our whole family went to see it, and there is literally a song where it's just the guys in the film, just because there's one of the main characters. If you haven't seen the film, I know you have, Matt, but for the audience, there's a daughter in the film that's one of the main characters, and she does not currently have a present father. And there is a song in the musical where you just have random guys show up saying, "Yes, I'm her daddy," and do a little dance each time, and it's just fucking absurd. It just
that
so
doesn't
stupid.
sound like it fits into the themes of the show either.
No, it does not. No,
woeful misunderstanding of the source material.
That is a afterthought, if anything, in the actual source material. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
God, that reminds me. Sorry for the theater sound. Sorry, sports fans. We're talking about theater.
No, it's okay.
I talked to a coworker and we were talking about the theater that I like to go to. And this may pin down my location, but I don't care that much. But we were talking about 2 previous shows that we had seen, and they were both actually back to back, just based on how things played out. They were Kinky Boots and Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. She refused to see the former, but adored the latter.
Not cool.
So,
not
bit
great.
my tongue a bit. Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella is my least favorite Broadway show of all time, by the way. It sucks ass. It is like the slowest, most boring like piece of shit. I don't like it. I don't like the Cinderella story anyway. You can't make the Cinderella story last for more than an hour. It doesn't work. Don't try to do it. At least write better music. Have more characters.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, when you think about Rodgers and Hammerstein, you just kind of are like, oh yes, those guys are known for making musicals, and you just kind of move on after that. You kind of don't want to dwell on it.
Well, even like Sound of Music, like Sound of Music is a better show than Cinderella. I enjoyed the characters in that show, and the music, but Rodgers and Hammerstein have this thing that they do. This is the longest fucking intro.
No, it's fine. That's fine. We're rolling.
They have this thing that and I've only seen those 2 shows by them. They have character A sings verse and chorus, and then character B sings verse and chorus, and then maybe they'll both sing it together. But it extends the songs to be like each one is 5 to 6 minutes long.
Yeah, That is my biggest gripe with the Sound of Music is
it's so
how fucking long it is.
It's doesn't have to be that long.
And it's not like there is something like to be said about like the plot overall is not bad. It's everything, like it is a nice film, nice movie musical, but like it's
good message. It takes the stance of fuck the Nazis.
Right, that's you know what, the bare minimum,
bare minimum,
that's good.
But a needed one,
a needed stance nonetheless. Absolutely. Anyways, welcome everyone. We're in a post Christmas weekend, 2022 world. We are now through what was like what felt like there was a football game nearly every day, which there was for the most part between Thursday and Monday, with the exception of Friday.
Fuck Friday, I guess.
Friday, well, yeah. I'm going to be very glad that we are now reaching the point where we're not going to have NFL football on 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad we're moving past that. We're going to have the usual 3 this week, and then the following week we have 2 days where it's Saturday and Sunday. And so that's nice, because there was a lot of days to have to keep on top of what's been going on in the NFL. But we will talk about the NFL, what happened this past weekend. We'll also, as per usual, pick our next VBBFL team, and we will then pick our games. Again, the usual shit, not really much else different, which is part of the reasons why I was totally cool with keeping the musical intro much longer than it probably should have been. Anyways, the Week 16 recap will start with the game of the week, which I feel like can't really be much else other than Eagles at Cowboys. A game that ultimately, it was a battle between Dak Prescott and Gardner Minshew. So Jalen Hurts is probably going to be out for until the playoffs. Maybe we'll see if what Philadelphia decides on that front. But the big thing here is that it was at one point 27-17 early in the third quarter, with the Eagles up, and then it was the Cowboys came back, and it was back and forth until the very end, where the Cowboys clinched the victory after they kicked a field goal and then ultimately stopped the Eagles on downs. It was a good game, but the Eagles also lost Lane Johnson for the season in this victory. So kind of or in this loss, I should say. Meanwhile, the Cowboys seem to be back on the right track after a couple of bumpy weeks.
Guess the one game I didn't watch was
I'll be real. I did not watch this game either. So
cool.
We'll spare you guys the deep analysis.
The hem and hine.
It's really
at least
go ahead.
The biggest takeaway for me is Gardner Minshew is a good quarterback. So
yeah, I mean,
I'll take that. I'll take that victory lap
based off of what we right. That's right. That was one of the wildest twists in a segment earlier this year. I forget what the segment was, but we were like we wanted to put a spotlight on things that people weren't talking about that much, and it was like your final one, and it was Gardner Minshew, and I was just like, wait, what the fuck? But sure enough, he played very well in this game, and that is a very good sign. Now, that was Eagles and Cowboys. Again, sorry for not watching. Just happens to be that way. It was Christmas Eve. It was, we have dinner with friends. We didn't get a chance to watch it back. Just trust us. We know it's the game of the week. We'll roll with it. But we'll go to the blowout of the week, and this has a little bit more meat on the bone than other blowouts of the week in terms of what we could talk about with this game. It was Broncos at Rams. It was a 50 burger landed on the Rams, or landed on the Broncos' doorstep. Essentially, the Rams were just completely dominant in this game, and the Broncos continued to struggle. And boy, the Broncos lost so badly that after only 15 games as a head coach, Nathaniel Hackett has been fired by Denver, and it is I don't know, Matt. It's a very interesting situation now with the Broncos, who, after coming into the season with such high hopes, such high expectations, they get blown out in this game. They fire their head coach, and yet, for some reason, the Broncos organization came out today with their general manager saying, we still believe that Russ is fixable.
I don't fully disagree with them, but that's still like a very... I feel like that's just kind of what you have to say. The Broncos suck. The team around Russ is like pretty good, actually, but when the backup played better than Russ, that's an issue.
I feel like it is interesting, and I think that we could definitely look at what happened this year and be like, there is no way you could continue to commit to Russ as your quarterback going into 2023 because of just, he has shown that he has not played well. That said, there were some people that made the point earlier this year, before even, I would even say before the game started being played. But I had seen some people talk about that Hackett's system may not be good enough for Russell Wilson and for his skill set and how he plays. He throws, and that probably could have contributed to him not doing well. But that's, to me, the only way that Russell Wilson being fixable can even make sense. Because if it's not the system, then it's Russell, and I don't know, how do you keep trusting that? Because this was a disaster.
Yeah, the way I kind of see it from that is you have a bunch of like that would just be poor coaching, which is why Hackett got fired, right?
Right.
Is you don't adapt your offense to your player, and that's why you're sucking.
Yeah.
and then that's kind of why the team as a whole was bad. But there were so many things that were on Russell Wilson.
No, absolutely.
That I don't buy that completely. It was a part of it, and I do think that it's not a like Wilson is not a total lost cause, but my God, was he a bad football player this season?
Yeah, I'm not saying that like it is easily going to be fixable if you change the head coach and change the system. That's what people were kind of saying before the season or even early on in the season, where we were like, okay, well, Russell, he's not as used to like throwing over the middle as much, I believe it was, compared to other quarterbacks. Right. You have like a good quarterback should be able to adapt to all those situations. You could have a system in place that maybe can change up the way that you run those schemes. I don't know. I think Nathaniel Hackett, we saw how he coached early in the season. Then he got this guy who is now the interim head coach. I even forget his name. He's never been a head coach or even like a main coordinator before. But they hired this guy, and then the time management issues got better during the season, but there were still those remaining just game time situations and just in general like adjustments that were just not happening with a team that overall I think that a lot of us felt was talented. So the idea that I could see where if a new coaching staff comes in, maybe they could figure out a way, not even to like have Russ be good again, but play around Russ in a way that the rest of the team can be elevated, and that they could just have him be like this, game manager type guy. If they really feel like they have to roll with Russ, considering contract and stuff like that. But you're right though. Like he's completely regressed, and I could see the scenario where the coach comes in and it could change things, but that is the only way that this whole Russ being fixable thing makes any sense to me in my mind. But yeah,
Rams are better with Baker than they are with other quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, he's been better than Matthew Stafford was this year.
I mean, he was.
Which is, quite a thing to say for the Rams. Wild year for Los Angeles. I don't think anyone really saw this much regression coming from the Rams. But 51 points on the Broncos kind of shows that, hey, they're still a team that probably could bounce back next year. But we'll see how what decisions they make in the offseason. The chaos of the week. There's a few that I could have chosen from here. I decided to go with the Packers at the Dolphins. The Dolphins, who have been on a losing streak, but they did play competitively against the Bills. It did feel like maybe things were returning to normal. They were going to be fine. And then the Tua throws a bunch of interceptions at the end of the game to basically seal the game for the Packers. And the Packers defense has been playing a lot better as of late. Their offense, especially with Watson, I mean, he did not play that much in this game because he did leave early, but their offense has been looking a little bit better as well. Matt, I am getting worried that the Packers are going to be the team that we fork that's going to end up making the playoffs here.
No, stop talking right now. I am terrified as well. You need to stop putting that into the world. Because it it just means he's right,
Yeah.
And nobody wants that.
No.
He pisses me off. I don't want to be angry about football. He makes me angry about football.
I will say, if it were to happen though, and there's a good chance they'll probably be a 7 seed, and then whoever's the 2, they'll face the 2 seed. Here's hoping it's the 49ers that play that
yes,
seed.
please.
Because
they overtake the Vikings.
Yeah, because I think at that point, well, that's what's going to end up happening if, like, let's say the 49ers win out and then the Vikings lose that game to the Packers, which is the only way that the Packers make it at this point. Packers win this weekend, then win against the Lions in Week 18. That if that were to happen, 49ers do end up being the second seed. And just with the way that the 49ers are just destroying people lately, man, it would just be nice to just to really.
I mean, that is the one guaranteed way to get the Packers out of the playoffs. It's have them face the 49ers.
Right. Yeah. It's foolproof.
Because it's hilarious that Aaron loses to his childhood team that didn't draft him.
Right. Yeah. They are better off without him.
And he's still not over it.
Can
you tell I'm petty?
Hey, I do not blame you at this point. I will say, like, putting Aaron aside, I've always been I've always liked the Packers a lot more than you, but for obvious reasons. You are a Bears fan, but
yes.
I as much as I fucking hate Aaron Rodgers, I would not hate them in a playoff situation just because they have looked better in the recent weeks, and so I'm just a fan of good football. So yeah. I would just like to see a team that is good at football get into one of these last wildcard spots to at least make those games interesting. We've had a run of wildcard weekends just not be that good in recent years, and so I just want some good games that first week. So I get that. That's where I'm at with the Packers, where I'm like, I want to hate on them, but really I'm just hating on Aaron Rodgers. The rest of the team I don't really hate. It's just
no, they're fine. I don't. The only person I truly hate as a person is Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Everyone else is like they did nothing wrong.
If it wasn't for him, this would be that sucks situation for me.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty much.
Yeah.
But there you go. So that is your Week 16 recap of those three games. There was a smattering of different other interesting games here and there, but we do not have to go deep into those. You probably saw them. But
it is now time for the Go Fuck Yourself game of the week. The Las Vegas Raiders versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Saturday night football. Both these teams deserve some coal in their stockings.
I am oh yeah, that's 23 points, huh? I was just looking, I was like, wasn't there one that was even lower than that?
Nope.
But I saw that the Atlanta-Baltimore game was 26 points.
Yeah, and Baltimore scores 17 points. That excludes them from a go fuck yourself. It's got to be 15 or less.
I also will say though,
both teams.
I feel like it's kind of mean to say that the Raiders Steelers game is the go fuck yourself game of the week. Just
I also didn't watch it, so
that was the Franco Harris Memorial game, and they also had the Immaculate Reception. It's the Immaculate Reception game, like anniversary game. That the Immaculate Reception, the final score in that game was also 13-10, and this was 13-10.
Fine. I will rescind.
No.
Fuck you.
No. We'll keep it as a go fuck yourself game of the week. It is an honor to be part of that. I'm just saying.
Is it? It really isn't. Like you're. This is the Denver Broncos award. Like you don't want to be a part of that.
I think that I think wherever Franco is right now, he will be totally okay with it.
What are you talking about?
Alright, anyways, we're gonna move on now to the VBBFL season 3 team selection.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure, wasn't he a defensive player? Like, he's like he would not mind a low scoring.
He was a running back.
Okay, never mind. Anyways, we'll move forward. So far we've had a lot of games on either the East Coast or like in like the middle of the country up until last week. You mean? A lot of teams. With the exception of last week where we had a West Coast team. For Washington. This week we're back to the middle of the country.
All right.
We're gonna head to the state of Missouri.
All right.
And we are going to talk about Joplin. Not
Joplin, Missouri.
Not of the Janus variety. We're just talking Joplin, Missouri.
Okay, so right away, Joplin reminds me of not Janis Joplin, Scott Joplin, the king of ragtime.
Oh, that's fuck. Damn.
Yeah, this is like West Coast or fucking West Coast, West as like West Missouri as you can get.
Yeah, because for me, when I think about, I think about ragtime. I always think this is a weird poll, but I always go to Animal Crossing in my mind. But that's because Animal Crossing has KK ragtime, and that was the first time I ever heard the word ragtime, and that was like my favorite song in the game.
That's probably the first place you've heard of a lot of music genres.
That's probably accurate, actually.
That was why I was like I was trying to figure out where I knew this name from. There was a tornado here in 2011.
Oh, okay.
That's how I know of this place.
But I like the idea of ragtime. Is this a town that is very much known for ragtime outside of that one?
No, I don't even think it was not even named after Scott Joplin. It was named after Reverend Harris Joplin, who settled upon its banks in 1840.
Oh, okay. So then there's no association whatsoever.
No association.
All right, then we will drop that, I guess. All right. So reading up on, there's a long history for this town. This is a population of 51,000, so very much above our main mark. Trying to see if there's anything that is notable immediately.
Saw stuff about it being a mining town.
Okay.
So we could do something with that.
We have had a few mining
we had the Mountaineers.
Right. But I don't know if there's are there even mountains in Missouri?
No.
It's pretty flat.
Yeah, but they do have mines.
They do have the mines.
They have a lot of open pit mines and mine shaft. Main part of Joplin is 75% undermined, with some mine shafts well over 100 feet. They occasionally cave in, creating sinkholes, so they do have a sinkhole problem. Oh, Bonnie and Clyde spent some time here.
Oh.
Bonnie and Clyde escaped after killing Newton County Constable John Wesley Harriman.
Okay.
And
I feel like every other year I'm like told that Bonnie and Clyde are real or not. So they definitely were real.
I'm pretty sure Bonnie and Clyde were real, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They've obviously been like fictionalized, and like obviously the story has probably changed a lot around them.
Oh, yeah.
Because of Hollywood, but
no, as far as I can tell, they are real people.
Right. I do, so immediately when I'm thinking about animals and this town, I'm already thinking about mining, and I'm thinking about digging, and I'm thinking about moles.
Moles, Joplin moles. Obviously, we have to put something in front of that.
Is Joplin mining moles?
Are there moles in Missouri?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I feel like there's moles everywhere, but could be wrong.
The eastern mole is the only species that lives in Missouri and is found throughout the state.
Okay.
So there are moles in Missouri.
Okay.
They disfigure lawns.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's cute. He's like got no eyes though. You can't see. You can't see this guy's eyes.
Aww.
Holy cow! Hold on. You cannot see his eyes.
I know. I love them. I love them so much. They're so cute. We could have something rhyme if we were talking about mining. We could do the coal moles.
The coal moles is kind of good. I don't want to glorify coal mining though.
That's true. Although, granted, what would they have been digging for in this town outside of coal?
Good point.
I don't know. I'm not like very smart when it comes to mining.
Me neither. I don't know much about mining. The state animal of Missouri is the mule, Missouri mule. which I think is fucking amazing.
So to be fair, we have like a couple of horsey type
of hooved animals.
Yeah. We have an array. So just as an update to our audience, this is the current mascots: Fiber Foxes, Polka Deer, Mecha Moose, Possum Express, the Mud Otters, and the Glass Orcas.
Yeah, so we don't have a lot of like bigger animals like wolves or cats or anything.
Right, and we have talked. We've been kept on teasing that we'll do a cat.
I do want to do a cat team. Are there like big cats in Missouri?
That is something that we will need to look out for. And
we can't do like tigers because that's Mizzou, and I don't want to associate with them. Hold on. I get to the official Missouri government website about the Missouri Department of Conservation.
Sure.
And one of the things out here is learn more about feral hogs.
Fuck. God damn it. What if we did the Missouri feral hogs or the Joplin feral hogs?
Don't shoot feral hogs. Do report them.
The Joplin feral hogs.
I mean, we would call them something other than feral hogs, but we can call them hogs.
I was thinking less leaded into it in its entirety, but that's fine. We can do oh, fucking God. Matt just sent me a graph of the feral hogs. Essentially, I'm guessing breeding.
The hogs are multiplying, Chris.
All right. So hogs is on the table.
Hogs is definitely on the table.
Moles was kind of on the table, and then if we do want to squeeze in a cat team, it's either now or next week.
Great.
We're running out of options here.
There are cougars and bobcats in Missouri.
Cougars and bobcats. Joplin bobcats sounds kind of right. The bobcats for the Joplin, I feel like, kind of hit.
Yeah, but we need that. We need that.
The second thing, the secondary.
The first.
The adjective.
The adjective.
All right. So we have a good bench of animal mascots.
Whatever comes best between like cougar, bobcat, and hog. We
need to find a thing that is interesting about Joplin outside of like maybe we'll steer away from mining. Let's see.
Yeah, not mining. The other notable thing is tornado. We're not going to name it after a tornado.
No, fuck no. Jesus Christ, absolutely not.
Okay, here's something. Something.
All right, tell me, hit me.
There seems to be a something in the town, a bit of local mythology.
Okay.
That doesn't seem it's like appropriating anything. There's something they have called a spook light while they're there. That's a ghost light.
Oh.
They're lights that appear in the atmosphere without an obvious cause. Another name for them is will-o'-the-wisps. And there's one very specific to this area and to Joplin, Missouri, it looks like. Reported to appear in a small area locally known as the Devil's Promenade on the border between southwest Missouri and northeast Oklahoma, which is that area.
Right. I like that. I like that as a direction to go down.
Yeah.
Like a haunted, ghostly, ghost
light.
Ghost cats. Joplin ghost cats.
Ghost cats is very fun.
Because I feel like if we go down. Wait. So what was the three that we were choosing between?
It was cougar.
The Joplin ghost hogs.
Ghost hogs.
The ghost hogs. The Joplin ghost hogs.
Ghost hogs.
Do you like that?
I don't hate it. If we can figure out like a better.
I don't know. I'm cool. I'm cool with ghost hogs.
I think ghost hogs is a very very good name.
Okay, let's do it then. All right, so Joplin ghost hogs, and then we'll do purple, and we have to think of another color that we have not. And
that's the issue because we've used like every other color.
Right. Have we done what did we do for glass orcas? We did red yellow.
Reddish yellow, yeah.
Did we do any grays?
We've done gray and cyan with Westminster. With the Mecha Moose.
White and orange we did.
Yeah.
And
even if we want to do like
did we do black? No,
We've done black with the possum.
Okay.
So like I'm thinking back to past seasons, and we've doubled up on colors before.
Yeah.
As long as we do like enough of a difference, that's what's important. Like last year we had War Train, which was like red and yellow, and then we had the Mothman, which was red and white.
Right.
I
mean, I feel like this is a good purple gray team because gray.
I don't know. I don't like doubling up on like the gray, white, black colors.
Right.
Just because with those being primary, it loses a little bit of identity.
Sure.
It does make a lot of sense though.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to do like a purple and green. I don't think that would necessarily look the best with ghost hogs. I mean, we could do different shades of gray.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it could be like we do a darker gray for one and a lighter gray for another.
Yeah. I think that would make the most sense. We did have purple and black last season too.
Yeah.
I don't think that's maybe we do a lighter gray for the ghost hogs and maybe like a different shade of purple, more of a maybe not more of a lavender. But we'll see.
Yeah.
There's more of a royal purple for the Cosmos.
Yeah, we'll make it work. We have I'll lean on you when you make the uniforms, and then I'll that's what I'll use as my the colors for the scoreboards. Yeah. I think that works. I like I just feel like I can't really think of another spooky color to work. I mean, unless we wanted to do something like a Halloween colors.
No, we also already did that with the Phoenix City Phoenixes.
Well, I meant or it would be orange purple.
Orange purple. I don't hate that.
Because we've done orange and black, we've done purple and black.
Yeah.
We have not done purple and orange.
Yeah.
So just throwing it out there.
Would that look good with a ghostly hog?
I think it could. I mean, no matter what, like, white becomes a part of all of these uniforms in some capacity.
Usually, yeah. Okay, I am down for like a purple and orange. I'll just make sure it's a different orange than the Fiber Fox orange.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you, Clemson.
There you go. Perfect. So there you go. That's our
little more creative too. I think. Purple and orange.
Yeah, 100%. So that is our 7th team. To be added to the list: Woonsocket Firefoxes, the Euclid Polka Deer, the Westminster Mecha Moose, the Sanford Possum Express, the Lafayette Mud Otters, the Tacoma Glass Orcas, and now the Joplin Ghost Hogs. Very nice, and we have one more team to go. And at this point, I feel like we're in a decent spot where I think so. We have Washington, Colorado, Missouri, Louisiana. Those could be your West division. But if, let's say, we get a Nevada, Arizona, or North Dakota, or a Hawaii,
we're a little fucked.
No,
or
not necessarily.
Or Joplin is very, very West Missouri.
So what I was gonna say was that we'd have Louisiana be part of the East.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it.
I think that would work. I think overall, I think Missouri is pretty much a lock for the West, and then Louisiana will just be our flex option depending on if we get something more Western.
Yeah.
But we do still have Maryland, Delaware, Vermont, Maine, all available on the eastern side, and Illinois. I guess at this point would be considered
Illinois. Illinois is
it's true.
Eliminated.
Illinois and Iowa have now been eliminated.
Yep.
Because of bordering Missouri. So yeah, it's basically 4 states versus 4 states at this point.
We're running out of fucking states.
But I like it. We're gonna be playing with fire next week. It'll be good.
Yep.
Good time. But there you go. Before we get to our Week 17 picks, let me tell you about our sponsors. Hi everyone, it's Chris, and I'm back once again to tell you all about Anchor. Anchor by Spotify has actually been the tool of choice for Team Chaos Productions since the moment we decided to get into podcasting. And the biggest reason for this is it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer or even your phone. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, but also Apple Podcasts and many more. And best of all, Anchor is free. You do not need to worry about any features being locked out to you. You can get it all if you just download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Happy podcasting.
Sick of talking about video games with people who just want to be toxic? Me too. So join us over at the Gaming Coop. We come together each month to talk about what we love about video games. Discussion topics range from our favorite soundtracks to the best relationships between characters. We also have some fun segments in which we play some trivia or build our school of gaming. Find us on Anchor or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Game on!
And we are back. All right. Matt?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and before we jump into our NFL picks, talk about the college football picks because that has been going on. And as of right now, as of this recording, right now what is playing out right now is Memphis at Utah State, I believe. And Memphis is, according to my count, beating the shit out of Utah State.
Okay.
And so, I believe you picked Memphis. I picked Utah State.
That does sound right. Yeah, it's 24-3.
Right.
Memphis.
So if Memphis, so let's assume, right? Because right now, before this game is finished, I'm sitting at a 10-9 record. You are sitting at a 9-10 record. If Memphis wins this game, we are tied 10-10 through the first.
Yes.
Through the bowl games as of this moment.
Indeed, we are. So
it is anyone's game, and the both of us drinking Pilk is very much on the table.
Yep.
Right now. So that's the update on that front.
Is it still mathematically possible to tie? I don't really feel like doing the math right now, but it might be.
I would imagine if we are tied, I would imagine that we could still mathematically tie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a. I mean, how many bowl games was there to pick? 44, 43? I mean, if it was an odd number, then we can't tie.
Right.
Oh wait, no, never mind.
Well, no, we can because we can pick the same games for some of these.
That's true. I forgot. All right, so yeah, we don't know. We're just gonna work off the assumption that a tie is still on the table in some capacity. All right, so that's the current situation in the bowl picks. Let's go to the NFL picks. Matt, you and I last week disagreed on 2 games. I got both of them.
Yes, you did.
But we are doing very well on both the guarantee and the chaos front. We've both gotten 3 guarantees in a row. You have gotten what looks like to me 4 of your last 5 in terms of chaoses. I have not
5
done...
of my last 8. Yes. 5 of my last 7.
Right, there you go.
I can't count.
There you go. So yeah, so 5 of your last 7. I've not been doing as well on the chaoses, but because of an early season run, I've still gotten 1 more chaos overall. But regardless, this week we both got our guarantees and our chaos, so that's another point on the board for both of us. So where things stand right now, after week 16, I got a 13-3 record. With what that extra points, that puts me at 11 points. 11-5 for you, Matt.
Jesus
1
Christ.
point is 7 points, and then overall, I am sitting at 151-87 record at 64 points. Matt, you're at 143-95, and you're at 47 points.
I think you were going to win this season, Chris. I'm not conceding yet.
No, don't. You
but
shouldn't.
I believe you're going to win this season.
We'll see. I feel like it does not feel real to me yet. I feel like any bullshit thing could happen at the end here that will destroy my lead.
Really? This season of the NFL will have bullshit in it?
As we know, the NFL is a well-oiled operation that nothing ever goes wrong in.
Nothing ever goes wrong.
So I guess I could just count my winnings now.
The only guarantee is that there is chaos.
Right, pretty much. Pretty much. And that's what completely frightens me, because I could also have a massive collapse here. Having said that, we'll see what decisions you make as when it comes to picks. It will be very interesting.
But first,
oh,
we have the playoff clinching scenarios.
Thank you. I forgot about them.
Already clinched. Buffalo Bills are your AFC East champions. Kansas City Chiefs are your AFC West champions. The Los Angeles Chargers have also claimed a playoff berth. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens are both in the playoffs and are fighting for the division title. Buffalo can clinch home field advantage if they win and KC loses. That's the number 1 overall seed for those of you at home. Kansas City can do nothing this week. LA can do nothing this week. And Baltimore can really do nothing this week. Cincinnati, if they win and Baltimore loses, they will win the division. And Miami can get into the playoffs if they win and New York Jets lose. Over in the NFC, the Eagles and the Cowboys are both in the playoffs, still vying for the division title. The Vikings are the North champions, and the 49ers are the West champions. The Eagles can clinch the NFC East if they win or Dallas loses. And then they can also get the number 1 overall seed and home field advantage if they win or Dallas, Minnesota, and San Francisco all lose. Finally, the Buccaneers, not finally, there's more after that. The Buccaneers can clinch the NFC South if they win. Now, they are facing Carolina. And if Carolina wins, it will be in a much more precarious situation. But if they win the division. The New York Giants will clinch the playoffs if they win. Or, and this is a big or, right. Seattle and Washington lose. Or Green Bay, Detroit, and then either Seattle or Washington lose. They will get into the playoffs. Washington can also get into the playoffs if they win, and then Seattle, Detroit, and Green Bay all lose. So I'm really hoping that New York and Washington do their jobs this week and just win and are in the playoffs. Please. Please, for me. Thank you.
It is very weird sitting here, a Giants fan, knowing well that they're probably going to win this week. I say probably because, I mean, who knows? But
it's against the Colts, who have only beaten the Raiders so far,
right?
With just Saturday.
And so I just have no excitement whatsoever for this. I don't know why. I guess I think I've just grown to not really have that much. I guess it's both the fact that like the Giants in their current state don't excite me as a Super Bowl contender, and also just I don't know, not really like I care about other teams more right now than the Giants. But they get in. I'll root for them. Obviously, I want them to do well in the playoffs. My hope is that the Giants, who will probably end up being the 6th seed, I hope that they face the Vikings and not the Niners. I feel like we have a better shot at beating the Vikings than beating the Niners at this point. That is just my gut feeling right now. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting as we go into the picks, which we shall do not now. The Dallas Cowboys at Tennessee Titans playing on Thursday Night Football, the last Thursday Night Football of the 2022 season. And it's a big game because the Cowboys, if they win, they can keep pace with the Eagles, who are without Jalen Hurts still, and now are also without Lane Johnson. So maybe they keep pace, and maybe things could get really interesting in Week 18. The Titans, they're not as much playing for anything, because regardless of what happens in this game, they're playing for AFC South title in Week 18 against the Jaguars. Really interesting stuff. What do you think's going to happen?
I'm going to go with the Cowboys, partially because the Cowboys have more to play for and are just overall the better team. The Titans just lost to the Texans, for crying out loud. Mm-hmm. I do feel very strongly about the Cowboys in this game, and I also just think that it is hilarious of this situation that, like, it doesn't matter what the Titans or Jaguars do this week at all. It's all down to next week. So I don't think the Titans are going to play as hard as they would.
Yeah, they may even bench some people for all we know. Like, that's how much this game doesn't really matter on that front. Granted, I guess in some ways they're still competing for a wild card spot, you know, because basically if you're 7-8 right now in the AFC, you're still in that race. I
guess, yeah, that's true.
But that is, I think that your prospects are much better in the AFC South, and focusing on that. So yeah, I'm going Cowboys as well.
Cool. All right, the Arizona Cardinals take on the Atlanta Falcons. Both teams are in a what the hell is going on. J.J. Watt announced his retirement because he's done playing for this shitty Cardinals team, and has had a really good career. And it's time to hang it up. But
yeah,
the Cardinals are bad.
Yes, that's it.
And he's not getting out of this situation, so may as well just retire.
Yep.
Who do you think is going to win between the birds?
I am going to pick the Cardinals in this matchup. I liked that they seemed competitive against the Bucs. And I do think the Bucs are a better team than the Falcons at this point. And the Falcons, sure, they kept it close with the Ravens, but the Ravens are not in that great of a spot right now either. I'm picking the Cardinals, and they're also 4-point underdogs. So I'm Team Chaosing them.
Okay. I'm actually going to pick the Falcons here. This was one of my. I'm going to pick the opposite of what Chris does.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I still think it's a close enough game that I'm okay doing that.
Yeah, no, that works. That works out perfectly. Next up, the Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. That was the other potential chaos of the week. Lions just completely blew it against the Panthers. They are just not a good road team. They're at home this time, but they are taking on Justin Fields and the Bears. Where are you at with this game, Matt?
As much as it's fun to watch Justin Fields, and I do think the Bears will have a chance to win this game, I'm going to go with the Lions, mostly because I really, really want them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I also want the Lions in the playoffs. My concern, though, is just that if they end up, they're going to end up being a road team, and I just think every single time we've seen them on the road, they just are not that good. Having said that, though, I am picking the Lions in this game. The Bears are fun. They've been frisky, but they've fallen short in their last two games.
I found this graphic, and I don't know if I saved it. So I've been seeing this for college football for a while, and I finally found one for the NFL. It was, what if every one possession NFL game had the opposite result? So any score that's within 8 points, it went the other way.
Yeah. Well, the Vikings would be fucked.
The Vikings would be 1-13.
Yeah.
The Bears would be 9-5, and the second seed in the NFC.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild. It's wild.
That's it's intangibles like that make me very excited for the Bears' future.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can't just look at the final score in a lot of things. I've watched every single Bears game, and this is the takeaway that I have. And everyone who I talk to who has also seen every single Bears game does not have those critical thinking skills. And just say like, "Oh, the Bears blew it again." It's like, I mean, yeah, they did, and they shouldn't have, but this is a positive in the long run. Just trust the process. It'll
trust
be
the
fine.
Process.
It'll be fine.
That's what you gotta do at the end of the day.
Broncos would also be 9-5, by the way.
Oh.
In that regard. Speaking of the Broncos, Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs trying to stay alive for that first overall bye versus the Broncos, who no longer have a really bad head coach, but still have a not good quarterback.
Uh, there is always the temptation after a head coach gets fired to go with the other team, to go with the team that just fired their head coach. In this instance, I am not going to do that. I'm going to pick the Chiefs. But I will say, just putting it on the record, I do think that this game's going to be close.
Cool.
Where are you picking?
I'm also picking the Chiefs.
There you go. Next up, the Miami Dolphins at New England Patriots. Tua's status is up in the air going into this game. But he's not ruled out necessarily. He's just in the concussion protocol. Meanwhile, the Patriots had a really bad first half against the Bengals. Then they came back in the second half and made it a close game up until Stevenson fumbled the ball to have yet another excruciating loss on the season. What do you think's going to happen?
I am really not sure about this one. This may be another one that, like, after I say what this is, I may go the other way.
Sure.
After I hear what you say.
Yeah.
But the Dolphins' struggles have been so prominent. But the Packers have been at least a little bit more consistent overall, I feel like. We're able to play the Bengals really close. I'm going to take the Patriots in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I feel like you could say that it's just considering how the Dolphins played without Teddy or without Tua this season has been kind of left a lot to be desired. Having said that, they were still competitive in a lot of those games.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Patriots they need to go away. They need to be put away somewhere. They're just one of the most unwatchable teams in the league consistently, and it's just because of either the sloppy finishes or just not really playing all that great.
Or Mac Jones being a jackass.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great.
Like
not great.
that dirty tackling bullshit.
Yeah, so it is. I definitely am just kind of over the Patriots and want them to lose, so I guess I'm just willing this into existence.
That's fair. I do need another difference from you, and that was not gonna initially be one of them. So that works in my favor.
That works.
All right, Indianapolis Colts take on the New York Giants. Giants win. They are in the playoffs. I will repeat. The Daniel Jones-led Giants will be in the playoffs if they win this game against the Indianapolis Colts, who haven't been able to win except against the Raiders, and it's the Raiders. Do you think the Giants will win this game, Chris?
I do, and again, it's just wild. It's just wild. I just have nothing. I feel nothing in this. But I'm not saying like I'm happy they're making the playoffs. It's wild that they're making the playoffs. I'm just don't feel anything. It's just not exciting to me right now.
Weird, huh? I'm also picking the Giants.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. Next up, the New Orleans Saints at Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, again, they're down a few key players, but they're still the Eagles. They're still pretty dominant, and they're going up against a Saints team that, have looked better in recent weeks, but overall they're still 6-9, and still, I believe, I believe one more loss will end their season for good. What do you think's going to happen?
Philly has a lot to play for. They just have to win, and they win the division and the number one seed. They got Gardner Minshew, the best backup quarterback in the league. Let's go Eagles.
I am also taking the Eagles.
Alrighty. Next up, Carolina Panthers take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa wins, they win the division. If Carolina wins, they are in control of their own destiny next week. It's going to be very hard for a couple things need to go Tampa Bay's way next week in order for that to matter. What do you think is going to happen, Chris?
I am going with the Panthers. I believe in this Panthers team. I believe that they are a team that can beat this Bucs team. They did beat this Bucs team by a good margin as well earlier this year. I feel like they are more interesting too as a playoff NFC South title winner than the Buccaneers at this point. So I will go the Panthers way.
I'm also going the Panthers' way. I'm also going to slap the Team Chaos distinguisher on it.
That's fair. Completely fair.
Because, like, so I talked a lot about the Adam Gase effect, where as soon as a player leaves Adam Gase, they become immediately better. Matt Rule was that bad of a coach that it delayed Sam Darnold's Adam Gase effect. And now it's working.
I should have followed up on that text from you when you said that to me, because I was wondering what you meant by that. And now I realize, oh, okay, yes.
Now you understand?
Now I understand that completely.
Yeah. Carolina is rushing for a lot of yards, and Sam Darnold looks pretty okay. So
yeah.
While the getting rid of Christian McCaffrey is what needed that, is what was needed for that to happen.
Yeah, I also just want to make it known, because we haven't really talked enough about it. Steve Wilkes should be the head coach of this team.
Steve Wilkes should be the head coach next year, and if he's not, I'm going to be very angry.
They're doing very well with him, given the circumstance. So There you go. Next up, the Cleveland Starfish at the Washington Commanders. A battle between shitty franchises. But the Commanders are actually still alive in the playoff race. What do you think's going to happen?
Obligatory. We are picking against the Starfish this season.
That's true. Yes.
So picking Washington, I would have picked them anyway.
Yeah.
Because I honestly want to see this team in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they're not a good team, but I want to see them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think they deliver some fun, close games.
Yeah.
They're kind of like they're a worse off Vikings team to me. Of like they're going to be close. It's going to be an exciting game no matter what, because they can't blow out anyone. So yeah, I am also going Commanders. I would have done so anyway, regardless of our agreement.
Yep. And goddamn, does Watson look like shit?
Oh, it's so great! Oh my god, we have not even like that. That was a very satisfying getting eliminated for the playoffs. The only thing that would make it better is if they get eliminated next season as well. So
yes.
let's keep that train rolling.
Yep. All right, big one. Actually, not a big one at all here. Jacksonville takes on Houston. We talked about it earlier. Jacksonville does not matter for them whether or not they win this game.
Right.
It could for wildcard stuff if the AFC East completely implodes. But it doesn't matter for the AFC South. They will face the Titans next week. Whoever wins that game will win the division. Taking on the Houston Texans, who helped Jacksonville get into that situation. So how are the Texans going to help Jacksonville this week, or will they not?
This is a tough one. This is actually a tough one to pick, just because of how the Texans have defied their records consistently and beaten the Jaguars. Basically back-to-back years, but granted the Jaguars were bad then as well. I think the Jaguars are in better shape, though. I think that they have been playing so much more consistent football. Trevor Lawrence is really becoming into his own, and I think this game is going to be competitive. I just think the Jaguars are going to get it done. I think they're just a better overall team, and they should do it.
Yeah, I want. It would be amazing for the Jaguars to keep the momentum going, which means winning this week. I love the Jaguars.
Yeah, there you go. Next up, the San Francisco 49ers at Las Vegas Raiders. The 49ers, of course, as I've said, have been completely bulldozing opponents, and now they have the Raiders in front of them, who continue to be the most pathetic football team in the league. What do you think is going to happen?
Oh my god, have we not... so much has been happening this season that clowning on Josh McDaniels has not been like at the forefront of our minds.
We have clowned on him consistently.
Yeah,
but
we should have been doing it more. The Raiders are poopy. I'm picking the 49ers, who have the maybe best defense, probably the best defense in the league right now. Yeah.
Yes.
And then have managed very well on offense too.
Yeah, they're doing well. They're doing really well. So yeah, I'm also picking the 49ers. You said you're picking the Jaguars, right? The previous game.
Yes.
You said I love the Jaguars, and I wasn't sure, so I moved on. So I just want to return to that.
No, yeah. I love the Jaguars, Chris. What else is more to say? Of course, I'm gonna pick them.
Yes. But yes. All right. Yeah. So I'm picking the 49ers. This is the exact where my Ravens pick at midseason is definitely not panning out. The 49ers pick for the Super Bowl is just looking better and better each week. Of like they have kind of shown that like they have the chops to go the distance and make the Super Bowl again for the second time in 4 years at this point, 3 years, 4 years, however long it's been. But still good good team.
There are so many bad football teams this year that I feel like anybody except for the 49ers and Eagles in the NFC Championship would just be disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if the Cowboys could keep
Cowboys are there. Cowboys are okay.
If the Cowboys stay consistent, like that would be great. And if you have the Chaos Vikings, so it's any one of those four I'd be cool with.
JETS Jets versus the Seattle Seahawks. Both teams trying to stay alive in the playoff hunt, but it looks dire for both of them. They both need a lot going on. If either loses this game, it's not going to look pretty for them.
Yeah. I believe another loss would eliminate them. Whoever loses. What's the status on Mike White? Do we know? Is he
on who?
Is Mike White? Is he coming back? Because I know that they've definitely benched Wilson for good. He's actually inactive this week.
Yep. He is cleared to play Sunday versus the Seahawks.
I am picking the Jets. I think and just beyond the quarterback situation for the Jets, it's the defense. Their defense has been just so fucking good this year. I feel really good about this Jets team. The Seahawks have just not looked good, especially on the defensive side of the ball for the Seahawks. It's been pretty brutal. I know it's at home for them, but I just really like the Jets in this matchup.
This was originally going to be I'm picking the other team from Chris one, but we picked a couple of different ones earlier, so I'm also going to pick the Jets here.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Next up is I keep on thinking this is a Sunday Night Football matchup. It's not. It's
nope.
I just for some reason this reminds me of that could be a Sunday Night Football matchup. It's the Vikings at the Packers. The Vikings are still miraculously pulling off win after win after win, and they're not stopping. Whereas the Packers are they're starting to kind of get into a rhythm that's a little scary. What do you think is going to happen in this game, Matt?
For my own sanity, I'm picking the Vikings.
That's completely fair. I hate to do it, but I'm picking the Packers. I know that and maybe I shouldn't because the Vikings are just they in the close games they are the ones that close it out. But I feel like I want to pick in the direction that I don't want to see happen. And if it doesn't, then at the very least, that means that Aaron Rodgers gets to go home and does not make the playoffs. So that to me, I'll try to win in either direction.
He will have a lot of ayahuasca to keep him company.
I am sure. I'm absolutely sure about that. All right, fair enough.
It is the battle. Actually, I think it's your turn.
Nope, your turn.
It's mine. It is the Battle of Los Angeles. The things that this was originally the Sunday Night Football matchup, I believe.
Yes.
And then the Rams are underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, did they really want to use the stadium in primetime, Chris? They really wanted this. They really wanted it. They're gonna have to wait a few more years before they can do it again. Chargers versus the Rams. Who you got?
I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Yeah, me too.
Sounds good. This is the Sunday Night Football matchup. The Steelers at the Ravens. A very good AFC North battle. Steelers have been doing very well lately, but the Ravens, their defense, you gotta say that what's keeping them winning these games is the Ravens' defense. And so it's gonna be a tight game. Who do you think is gonna get on top of this?
I think with just how bad the Ravens' offense has been, and with TJ Watt, like, since he came back, still playing incredibly well, I'm going to pick the Steelers, and I'm going to guarantee the Steelers.
Wow! After 1 week after I guarantee the Steelers, you're taking that guarantee mantle and giving it back to the Steelers. I like it.
I am. They have been playing well. I do worry about the Steelers offense compared to the Ravens defense. This is going to be the go fuck yourself game of the week next week for sure.
Oh, 1,000%, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm gonna stick with Steelers here as much as it pains me. The Ravens have made the playoffs.
Yeah,
we'll just see if they can go any further.
The Ravens are safe. Meaning they probably should want to push to try to get a home field advantage, but like at the end of the day, they're in the playoffs, and I think that given their underdog status at this point, I think they'll be fine. You know, just get through the next few weeks, and Lamar Jackson he is planned on being back, and that will at least help the team in some capacity. Again, considering the talent on the defense on the defensive side of the ball, I am also picking the Steelers.
Cool. All right, and then Monday Night Football. I cannot fucking wait for this game.
This
is a beauty. The Bills versus the Bengals. Bills trying to win the first overall seed, and the Bengals trying to win their division. Who's going to win this matchup, Chris?
I am taking the Bills.
Okay.
And I guarantee it.
Oh, all right.
I feel like with the Bills, they've been playing a lot better as of late. The Bengals, what worries me is their last two games, they started off really badly against the Bucs, but then they came back to win. Then against the Patriots, they had a really strong first half and then completely fell apart in the second half, needing a fumble to kind of get out of that. Those are two teams that are not, they're pretty mediocre, and now you're taking on a Bills team that is very, very good. I like the Bengals. I think they're going to play. I want them to go far. I like both of these teams a lot. I want both teams to do very, very well. But in this matchup, I just feel like the Bills are playing a little bit better. So I'm going Bills, and I'm guaranteeing it.
This was my final. I'm going to pick the opposite of what Chris does.
There you go.
So I will be picking the Bengals in this one. A little bit of a mini fucko here.
I love mini fucko.
Mini fucko. But I still think good disagreement. Bengals still have a chance.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. All right, so either I will get close to catching up with Chris, or Chris will put the competition out of my reach.
Yeah, I mean we'll see.
Or somewhere in the middle.
So it's just, as we discussed before, it's a 17-point deficit. So
that literally means that I have to predict every single thing different than you next week.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's. I'm looking at it right now. It's if you get, so let's say worst case scenario happens for you, I sweep this. That's 8 points, and then let's say I get both my guarantee and chaos, and you get neither. That puts me up. I think that's so. It
would be impossible for me.
That would be a 27-point deficit.
Yes,
but if we look at the flip side of that. I believe that you could basically make this a 7-point competition.
Yeah.
If you get everything go your way and everything goes badly for me.
I also think I'm doing some math wrong. But it's fine. We'll get it figured out.
Yeah, we'll find out. That's also on the top of my head. So there's nothing like locked in on that front. But there you go. We have one more regular season episode to go. One last. We'll do a three game recap at the end of week 18 as well. But
yep,
it's this next week is basically our last normal episode before we dive into the playoffs. I forgot to check in with you on this, but I think we might be pushing the next week's podcast later into the week because there's no more Thursday Night Football, and we want to get at least close to the point where we all know the injury situations for teams and games and all that stuff. So we will
what players are sitting.
Right, yeah. So we will probably be recording later in the week next week, and probably later in the week moving forward. So this might be our last Wednesday episode for the time being, but we'll see. We'll see. And
Yep.
if it just works out better for our schedules to keep on doing it this way, we could do that. Just throwing it out there that's a possibility. Beyond that, folks, the next time you'll hear from us, it will be 2023, and we will know what 2023 smells like. And that's a neat idea.
Absolutely.
Anyways, thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Good night and good ball. Virtual Ball Boys has been brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Find us on Twitter at Virtual Ball Boys and find more of our work at Team Chaos Pods.